Welcome. So I'll make 3 videos now, or maybe 2, depending on how it works out. But I'll split it a little because apparently you people do not like to watch 1 hour of me doing whatever. Maybe it's just too long. I don't know. Let me know what you think about it. Like, do you enjoy the 1 hour long video where I just put everything together and just talk and guide you through whatever? Or do you prefer it if I just upload like 3 videos that are like 20 minutes um, or 15 or 10 or whatever, and you just get what you want and you can go to the next video? Like, let me know because I would like to, yeah, like change how I upload videos depending on what you like. So yeah, that's that. First things first. Now you people really wanted to see the deck list for the Brindy World deck that I created. I will show it to you, sure, but I got something to say about that. I mean, it is just an experimental deck, obviously. I think I said it in the video as well. And yeah, it's maybe just make me a little bigger so that you can see me. Thing is, I'm not a big fan of just taking a deck list, copy paster, and let's go. Um, I think that's one of the reasons why the meta is so stale at the moment. I mean, we had the law right now. He came in pretty new, pretty clutch, and now people play law, and that's pretty cool. Just because some people thought it was a good idea to play that, and now everyone's copying that. So yeah, that's really good because we got some fresh air. But generally speaking, because people just upload the deck list of whatever is strong and is good, people copy that and people play that. So we have thousands of Whitebeards, thousands of Zoro players who just copy pasta the deck that won regionals, the deck that second regionals, whatever. And I'm not a big fan of that. I understand that not everyone has the resources and the time to sit on the computer and grind games for hours and hours and create their own deck lists and their own style and um, find find that niche thing that works against the top decks, right? Um, but I still think that a lot of you can do that, right? I mean, it takes a little time, sure, but you can develop like an eye. You can start just seeing that small little um, thing that piques your interest, right? When you look at those cards, and you just learn to build a deck around that. So today I'm not just going to upload the deck list, even though I will upload it as well, but I'm going to show you how I build decks, my process behind doing what I do. Okay, so that maybe, just maybe, you find it interesting, you find it cool, you watch it, and you just try out stuff, right? And maybe you find that one niche deck, that one niche card, that one niche playstyle, whatever, that makes your deck unique and that makes everyone else copy you. I don't know. And I would really, really, really love that. I mean, in the end, YouTube is still like something where you can upload things and you can learn and you can get your mind going, right? So I think it's a pretty cool thing if we can maybe use that, and if maybe you can use my videos to actually learn something instead of just copying whatever I or whatever someone else does. Okay, so let's make me small again and open the window. So, um, first things first, obviously, like we have the Brindy world. I think I used that one in the video. Um, the idea was obviously just having Dofi and Desert Sparta to search or to, um, yeah, look at the top cards of my deck and know what's coming, put it to the bottom if it's not Brindy or Trafalgar Law, and then we just yeah played it out, playing Brindy as soon as we can. One life. I mean, you have seen the video, right? This is just the deck list really for you. So that's what I've used. But as always, and as I just said, these things are not perfect by no means. This deck is absolutely useless against every other deck, even against what's it called, the boat beard. You can play that deck against Boatbeard because you have no way to remove the Marcos. Sure, I can just say if Marco is the only problem, I will just put out some defensive things, whatever these two, and I'll put in Brick Fist. All right, so I can play him on 8. I can play him to take the last life. Like that's not necessary anymore. Basically, we can delete Law as well, or we can reduce him to 2 because this card is only really necessary in the Strawbeard version, and it's not necessary in the Boatbeard version. But if we still want to keep him, that's fine, whatever. So we play this on 8, and then we can bounce 1, 2, 3 Marcos, and then use the ability. Like, for example, now it would be a little better suited against the Boatbeard version. Yeah, same things goes for maybe Overheat or the Crescent Cutlass. Like, we can just put in things that help us achieve what we do, right? And now let's just look at deck building in general, okay? When I was thinking of this deck, what I do is, first, obviously, I have Crocodile, blue and purple. Okay, my intention was I wanted to get something that beats Whitebeard. And Whitebeard naturally has only one downside, which isn't really a downside because it gets you card draw, but the downside is that eventually he will run out of life. So all I need to do is make sure that when he's on no life, I can beat him 100%. So that's where Brindy comes in. Okay? Now I needed to... I think I didn't... In my deck list, there's actually no queen. No idea why not, because she's so good. But like I said, deck's not perfect. So, where am I? Right, Brindy. So I have a Brindy in the deck, but now I need to get to a point where I can get Brindy on board and win the game. So I need defensive options. So we're just going with the basic Crocodile setup, basically. That is always for Love Mellows. And currently, it is also for Gum Gum Rains, for me, that is. Like, you have a lot of flex cards. Overheat can be flexed if you need it against Zoro. I play it in my current Crocodile deck, actually, because if a board goes wide, you can just block an attack and bounce another one, which means you countered 2 attacks with 1 card. That's just really good. Then we got the Spada. That's basically a 2k counter that draws you another card, which basically means it's a 2k counter that doesn't where you're not dropping a card from hand, and it lets you search for the top 3 cards. So that's a really, really good one as well. Then we have Deathwing. That can be flexed because if you're playing a lot of counter cards, you can dump your hand and then draw up again. Like, that's really good, even though it is really costly. Like, this one only works if you're not playing a lot of cards that have no counter value, or you're playing Gum Gum Rain constantly to bounce that back. Then another staple is basically always Miss All Sunday, because if you're playing a blocker, then why not play her? Because she can recycle your events, right? That's just really good. So that's basically like the ground, the foot. How is it? The fundament, whatever. The basement. I don't know. No, not basement. It's I don't even know. This is the base. No. It's not a basement. I'm not. My head's kind of dull. Sorry. Whatever. This is how we start out the deck. Next thing is we need cards that are 2k counter, obviously, because we want to play defensively. And we need cards that let us draw and or recycle our hand, right? Because we need a specific card combination in hand. So we're taking Dracul Mihawk because he's a 4 Dawn 5000, which is decent. He has a 2k counter, which is super good. And on attack, he lets us draw 2 and trash 2, which is also very, very good. So this is a very good card. And in the same breath, obviously, Queen. Because she does the same, right? She's a 1k counter, but she is a blocker on top. And she lets us draw 2, discard 1, which means the effect is even better. Then I think I decided to flex that simply because I like it. Like Hell's Judgment is just very, very defensive, very good card. I think I actually don't play Hell's Judgment in that because it's so expensive, right? Let's just fill up with the events later on because these are pretty good already. Technically, I would say we go with Dofi, maybe 3-4-4 whatever times, because he is just another way to ensure that we get what we want, right? Like everything we have ensures that we get those Brindys on board. Now another thing that I had in mind is, or that came up while playing, is that the Strawbeard version constantly keeps having 1 life and I can't get through. And he kills me because before he ever drops to 0. So that's the point where I decided I'd just put in this one and take the last life away from him. If it's only 1 life that I'm lacking, I'll just take that away. And suddenly we have like a pretty complete setup, right? So I don't need anything more necessarily, which means I can just fill up the rest of my deck with either blockers, events, or 2k counters, depending on what I need. Since I already know without playtesting now that Strawbeard is super oppressive, I think going Brick Fist would be really good to bounce the Marcos. On top of that, you could technically run 2 of those because they also bounce the Marco. But the problem with that is if you have 4 Brick Fists in hand and you 2 of those early on, maybe against the Zoro, maybe even, these cards are dead, right? They're just dead cards. So while the setup is very, very good against the Strawbeard right now, we have no means of beating anything other than Strawbeard. I mean, sure, with Law, we like Akinamon has always more than 6 cards. Even Zoro currently, because he has so many searches, has more than 6 cards, which means this card is always effective. And if we don't necessarily need to attack his life anyways, because we will just kill him by playing these guys, we don't need a whole lot of stuff that like plays aggressively early. We just need something to control the board, if it makes sense what I'm saying. So if we need to control the board, there are a few options that we have. One, we have events again, like Overheat, or characters like Teach, for example, who could bounce a 3-drop, or we could play stuff like the Kamazo the Manslayer, who when he dies removes a 6-drop, or we could play stuff like King, or stuff like the other King, where you see the 6-drop King, stuff that on play removes something, right? So we can start building up stuff. The problem with that is if we have too many 6-drops with no counter, we run risk of breaking, right? I mean, currently in my Crocodile deck, I'm running like 6 Kings and 2 7-cost Kings and the Dofis, the 4-7 cost Dofis, because these cards individually are so good at what they do at a specific turn that it's like they are just so good. But if I put in Law as well, and Brindy World, suddenly I have like 20 cards that brick, that do nothing when I can't play them, and I can't play them anyways because I need the Dawn, right? I can at maximum play one of them each turn, no matter how many Dawn I have, because like 6, I can't even play 2 at one turn when I'm on 10, right? So I might play one on 6, play one on 7, play one on 8, play one on 10, but how long is the game going to go? How many of these can you actually play? And the answer is not too many. You might play 3 kings, 2 Dophies, like that happens, but that's that. You won't play more than 5 of those. And thus, you should not put in too many cards with the same cost, right? Especially not if they have no counter. So we need to make a decision. Do we want to run this combo? Do we want to run it like that? Do we just want to run the Brindy? Do we want to put out the law completely and put in the king for it? Like, what is the right thing to do, right? And that process takes a little time. We need to try it. We need to craft it. We need to try it out. And then we need to make minor changes. Maybe we realize when I'm going first, it kind of sucks. Ah, wait, let me put in the jack and I ramp on 3 and I play king on 6 and then go into no, I'm 7 then when I'm ramping down again. So I couldn't play Brindy after playing that combo because if it was still the law, for example, then I could just ramp on 3, play law on 6, play him on 8. And that means we're in the 4th turn and I already have everything on my board set up. That would be really good. But then you will realize, since you're playing on curve every turn, you don't have any dawn for your events, which results in you needing to put in more 2k counters, right? So whenever you're playing on curve and you know that you cannot play your events, you need 2k counters. If I ramp on 3 and I play the 4 Dawn Dracul Mihawk, I still have 2 Dawn, which means I could attach a Dawn and then play one of those. Which means I don't need as many 2k counters. Even though like 2k counters are never really like wasted. You can't have too many of them, right? But that's just like the general idea of how I try to build a deck. And then in the end, the deck looks something like this. I mean, just from talking about it right now, I would probably say cut these 2 and 2 of these to put in queen, definitely queen, and we need what do we put out though? We have 2, 4, 4, 8, 12, 2k counters. 12 is a pretty good number. I realize I was going with the jack here as well because ramping on 3 would mean that I would in the 3rd turn already be able to play Brindy, which is not necessary if you're not playing against the Strawbeard, because ramping just to play him one turn earlier is definitely not necessary. Yeah, so I could see replacing him with the brick fist, but it's like I said, it's just brainstorming right now. And yeah, whatever, I'll just upload a video. You can see what I had, you can see what I have now, but most importantly, let me just clarify that one more time, because I really want to give you everything that I do. I want to show you what I think about, what I create, and I want to discuss with you whether it works out. And I definitely want your input in how things work and how things don't work. But I really, really want to see you people create cool stuff, and I really want to see you try it out in regionals, right? I make one more video right after that where I talk a little bit about my last local and what I'm going to play at the regionals. Maybe you're interested in that as well. But for now, I'll just leave that video as the Brindy World, whatever, deck building guide, whatever. Let me know what you think about videos like those. I literally just sat here and I just started talking Nothing scripted, nothing like prepared. It's just just what I'm thinking, what I yeah, what I'm a little sad about as well, because when I see people just copying and reacting to people like how do you say that? Other people, I've seen YouTubers upload videos of deck lists where I'm like, what the fuck are you uploading? Why are you uploading that? Because it's not good. You can't just upload 3 wins and say like the deck's good the way it is, right? When it's clearly not. Um, and I don't want to like tell you people that the decks that I play are like perfect or that everything's super and you're the problem because you can maneuver it or something like that. Because that's not what it is, right? Um, that's why I want to show you when I make gameplay. I also put in the losses, okay? Like if I make an hour-long video, I have the losses in there so that you can see what I did wrong and what I could have made better to get a win, because many games are winnable, sure, but some games are just not winnable simply because there is a little gap in power in certain leaders. And if everything that you have planned works out, but everything that your Zoro opponent has planned works out as well, and your deck is not specifically made to beat that, he's very likely going to win simply because he's so strong. And that doesn't mean that your deck is shit or that whatever you're shit. Um, but yeah, I hope you know you know what I'm talking about. Okay, I just want you people to think a little bit about what you're playing, what you want to play, and then yeah, get a little expertise on the deck. Yeah, and don't just believe everything that you see, okay? Even though it's not wrong to like to look at stuff and yeah, how do you say, and to take ideas away from that to build your own. Like that's perfectly fine, absolutely cool. Okay, see you in the next video in a few minutes. Da-da.